Hello, my name is Stephan Bogner. I am the editor of rockstoneresearch.com, and this is my presentation. And I'm going to show you some stock picks of Rockstone Research, and I'm invested in most of these companies that I'm going to show you tonight. And here's a disclaimer: I'm highly biased. Whatever I say here in this presentation, I'm not really independent. I work very closely with Untitled Capital, and they will have a presentation after my presentation. So make sure you're going to follow them as well, so to see what they are really up to. But basically, what Zimto is doing, they create companies themselves, and they work with these companies. But what also they do is they invest into companies, and that's why I got together with these guys as well, because I have been investing in these markets since 2002 when I started my own newsletter in Germany. Rockstone Research is since about 2010 I've been running it. Before that I had a couple of newsletters, and right now our newsletter is about 30,000 subscribers. And these companies here I'm following very closely with Rockstone. I'm invested in most of these companies, so that's what I do. I invest into companies and I like to report on them because that gets me up to date on these companies. Yeah, before I go maybe explain each one of those companies, I show you something else before. So when you are following the markets, especially the Canadian markets or the German markets, Zimto and myself, I was also involved in creating this app and this tool, which is like a great way of following the markets and see where's the action and where's the volume and which stock are performing very well. And you know, this tool lets you compare the German markets and the Canadian markets at the same time. And there are currently about 1,400 stocks which trade on both exchanges, and take a look at this. It's for free, and we're working on real-time prices as well right now, and it's for free. This is how the app looks like, and there's always a list where the action is. This is from this morning, and the best trading stock in Germany was East Africa Metals. They had about 1 million shares traded in Germany today, and around 140,000 in Canada. That was like 30 minutes after the open in Canada. So what this really is doing is when a stock trades well in Germany before, it normally a lot of volume gets over into the Canadian market. And so when a stock is really good performing in Germany, you could bet on it that it's also probably very good performing in Canada. It will be. Now, you can sort this list of all those 1,400 companies. You can sort these lists. Either you do it for all of those companies, or you can create your own watch list and portfolio and follow those companies. Then here are all the Zimto holdings, all the investments from them. And then we have created like subcategories for only oil and gas stocks, nickel stocks, or all of the lithium stocks we have put in here. And so you can watch and follow these markets and stocks. And also we have been putting for each one of those companies, we have been showing where the volume has been generated over the last 3 months. So here's an example of Commerce Resources, which has been trading 37% only on the Tradegate exchange in Germany, plus another 16% in Frankfurt. So you see that more than 50% of all the volume is being generated in Germany. And I publish my newsletter in German and in English. And right now we have about 30,000 subscribers. About 60% is English speaking, and the rest is German speaking. And the newsletter is for free, so you may want to sign up and see what's going on. Then on the same page of the Zimto Advantage, they have a blog, and Isabel, she's now doing a lot of interviews with these companies, and we are publishing these companies. And for example, the last one with Lynn Müller from International Wastewater, it's a fascinating interview, and it even surprised me, this interview. Okay, let's go back to this list. of all the stocks that I'm covering right now, from all of those 23 companies, I'm invested in about most of them. And I don't get stock options from the companies. I invest my own money in them. And Zimtu and myself, we're looking always for new companies that we invest in, and then we cover them with the Rockstone research label. So the first one is TrueLeaf. We have been following it since going public a couple years ago, and it's the best performing stock. The whole list here is it's sorted by best performance since the first Rockstone report. So TrueLeaf is actually the best performing stock since the first report from Rockstone. Second best is Bonterra, or let's give you a few more things about TrueLeaf. They have been just recently the Canadian government, they tabled the Cannabis Act, and they will be legalizing cannabis in all of Canada until next year. And just 1 week after this act has been tabled, the Health Canada came to TrueLeaf and said, okay guys, you are in the review stage. Right after that, the stock really took off, because that's like the last stage before the pre-licensing stage. And that's a big step for TrueLeaf. And they only have a market cap of 25 million right now. And their chairman was like the ex-mayor of Vancouver, and he was the ex-premier of BC. And with him on board, I think TrueLeaf definitely has very, very good chances of getting the cannabis license until next year. And they have been applying for this license already a couple years ago, but since then they haven't really been just waiting for this license, but they have been starting to build a company, and they are revenue generating right now. They have been into the hemp business, and they are selling hemp-based cookies for dogs. And they are now in Germany, they are in Europe, they are selling already all across Canada and in the United States. So I think it's a great company. They are just closing a financing, a 3 million financing, and I think after that they are ready to go. Bonterra is our second best performing stock. They just recently, it's high grade gold in Quebec. They are right next to Osisko's Windfall Lake deposit, and it's even a little bit more higher grade than theirs. And yeah, they're drilling right now, and they recently signed, they recently got Sprott involved, and Kinross also took a position in them. So the stock, even after this heavy dilution, the stock even went up, and they have now 80 million market cap. So it's a great company. Another gold company we're following is Orvista Gold, and great management. They're also in Quebec. They are more low-grade gold, about 1 grams per ton. And I think this is going to be the next super pit in Quebec, probably maybe also the last super pit. I mean, it's very similar to what Osisko was developing and bringing into production, the Malarctic deposit, with the only difference that, the Malarctic deposit has been mined over the last 100 years, like the high-grade pockets have been mined, but where with Orvista's deposit, they are still having those high-grade pockets still in there. Another company is in gold is Golden Dawn Minerals. I just came back from a 2-day trip to them. They are like 5 hours from Vancouver in Greenwood in British Columbia. And it's a great project. It's huge. Kinross is in the area, and watch out for this company. They are really doing well, and they have some old historic mines there they want to bring into production. They have multiple deposits and old mines, and I think they will go into production this year or sign major deals with the majors. And yeah, watch out for a nice site visit report from Rockstone over the next few weeks, and with some nice pictures and coverage. I flew a drone over there. So, okay, the next ones are Mgx and Voltaic. Mgx probably is more known than Voltaic. They're basically doing a similar thing. They are trying to get a process in for processing brines, which have been considered uneconomic for the last couple of decades, which are like low-grade lithium brines in North America, and they are like with high impurities of magnesium, calcium, and other stuff. So it was very difficult or even impossible over the last decades to get those impurities removed. And both of these companies, they have technologies now in the development stage and testing stages in order to get the lithium out, to get the more highly concentrated and produce lithium. And so whereas Mgx has like a market cap of already 70 million, Voltaic is only at 5 million. Of course, Mgx is a little bit more advanced at this stage, but I think Voltaic is going to do very well over the next couple of weeks and months, because they're going to release some phase 1 results very soon, and there are even going to be some cost metrics to that. So we're going to see some production costs involved with that, and Mgx until now still hasn't shown any economics, but it works. So I'm also very looking forward to Mgx economics, and I think they're going to be great, and they will be profitable of extracting the lithium, and same with Voltaic. 92 Resources is they're also doing lithium, but they are into hard rock near Yellowknife in Northwestern Territories. They're about to drill their first program this summer, so I'm expecting some good news flow over the next couple of weeks. And over the last couple of months, they have been coming down quite heavily, so I think it's a great opportunity right now. And this property is really amazing. They have found pegmatites. They have been channel sampling those pegmatites, and I think they're huge. They're really very, very big. They have surface expressions, and they were sampling those pegmatites over length of up to 1,000 meters. And now they're going to drill for them and see if they're connected to each other, and I think they are connected as it looks from satellite pictures, but they have to prove it with drilling, and if they're going to prove it, I think it's going to be massive. They have 6 of those pegmatites, and it's a whole district of lithium pegmatites. The grades from channel sampling were fantastic. They are world-class. They are like more than 1.5%, but even if it's 1% with drilling, even if you're going to, at least you're 1% or more than 1%, and you're good. Canadian zeolite, all these prices here that you see, they were from this morning, like after the market opened. But Canadian zeolite had a big day today. They closed at 79 cents, I believe, and they just popped. They had good news today that they signed another distribution agreement, and the stock also came down very heavily after it went from 50 cents to almost $2. And I think that's now the start of the turnaround with Canadian zeolite. They're into production in BC. They're signing major deals, and it's a great company. The market cap with 17 million is really a joke, but I think the consolidation is over. Great company. Emerita Gold, also a very interesting company. I think with 11 million market cap, wow. They just acquired a very good project from Glencore in Spain, and it's good zinc, almost 8%, and they will be developing this project. And besides this project, there was like a tender, a public tender in Spain, and because there was one of the biggest zinc mines in the world, and it was being mined by Boliden from Sweden, and these guys kind of screwed it up. There was a big tailing dams failure, and a combination of also low zinc prices. And after this tailings dams, after it collapsed, Boliden just left the country and just left the big open pit there. And after the government and the Spanish government cleaned it all up, now that was in the 90s, they just a few years ago they made a public tender for new mining companies to get in there, and Emerita was one of those companies which applied for this tender. And by surprise, a different company won this tender, and shortly thereafter it was found out that there was corruption involved with this tender, and now this other company, they didn't get it, and now there are some court proceedings going on, but the law in Spain is like that if there was criminals involved in the first public tender process, then the next qualified bidder will get this project, and the next best qualified bidder, it was Emerita. And who knows when they're going to get this project officially by the government, but I think it's going to be rather fast, and another couple of years. I think they're going to get it this year, because the government also is kind of embarrassed of all this corruption going on, so they want to get it off the table. So I think if they're going to get this project, wow, it's one of the biggest zinc mines it was in the world. It's high grade, and in contrast to Emerita, to Boliden, when they had a big open pit, they want to go underground, because that's where even more high grade zinc is, and they will go underground. They proposed it already. It's a great mine plan. They don't need really tailings, so it's more safer, and they're going to go mining. This is going to be a mining company, I believe, and it's going to start in this year, and they only got a market cap of 11 million, so watch out for this company. Another company in the lithium space is Far Resources. Great company. I'm heavily invested in this company. I mean, they somehow got out of favor, those lithium stocks, but watch out for Far Resources. They have been drilling this property since late 2016 with great results. And who else is actually right now drilling lithium, hard rock lithium? I don't know of any juniors doing that. They only have a market cap of 11 million or 6 million right now. Come on. It's a no-brainer. And they have been drilling these dikes in Manitoba. It's very mining friendly. They have infrastructure nearby. They have everything they need. And they already identified like 6 pegmatites, very good grades. They have drilled it. They released some assays in January, good grades. And now they have been doing a phase 2 drilling program. And we are expecting the assays any day now. So they're probably going to be good. They already, when they drilled this property a couple of weeks ago, after they drilled those holes, 2 of those, they reported, hey, we hit like 50 meters of very good spodumene, and we can tell it's spodumene. So I'm expecting like assays of at least 50 meters of 1%, 1.2% lithium. And the other one was, the other hole they reported on and gave some indication is that they really found big crystals of spodumene, like 15 centimeters big crystals. So this is an indication that the assays are going to be high grade. So watch out for these companies. Any day we're expecting the assays, and after that I hope it goes up more. 6 million, come on. Pistol Bay, they're in the Confederation Lake in Ontario. They have been using the last couple of years to consolidate this whole area. They now control a huge VMS district, and besides its good grades of zinc, there are some old zinc mines on those properties and nearby, and yeah, they're getting ready to drill it. And besides these zinc properties that they have in Ontario, they also had a very good uranium property in the Athabasca Basin, which they sold to Rio Tinto. But they are still they're getting like a couple of millions of dollars over the next years, and so they will use this money wisely to invest it into the zinc property, so that they don't really have to dilute much more with 40 million shares right now. So, and the good thing about the uranium property is that Rio Tinto is really drilling this property right now, and they believe in this property, and it's right next to the other ones, 2 big ones. And and Pistol Bay, they have like a 5% net profit carried interest in this property. So if it goes into production, Pistol Bay is going to be rich. The other one is Kings Bay. They are more into cobalt in Newfoundland. I'm a big fan of cobalt, and this is really a great cobalt company. Their first project that they acquired is in Newfoundland, and there was like a big highway in northern Newfoundland, which the government built, and which they built. So shortly thereafter, they found, like from a pit for a quarry, they found that there was high-grade cobalt, and it's almost 1% cobalt and plus very good copper grades. And I think they're going to fly it. They've just flew it with geophysics right now, and they're going to drill it. And I think it could be very well a very good deposit. Energy Metals, they are lithium in Argentina. Soon they will be drilling. They're just waiting for the permits. Commerce Resources, wow, one of my favorite companies. I think this year is going to be the year for Commerce. Another Belmont, they are drilling. We're waiting for assays for Belmont. And they have been drilling very close to the Clayton Valley in the Kibbe Basin, so we're expecting there as well. Kapus Casing is into cobalt as well. International Wastewater, great technology company. Rockcliffe Copper, very high grade copper and zinc in Manitoba. And the rest, Zimto Capital, watch the presentation, they're coming up. Vedic Ventures, Potash in Thailand, they're building new mines there. They're right next to it. It's a joke with $2 million. Nickel One, they do nickel. Mountain Boys, the last two companies I haven't really not yet covered, but these are the next companies that I will be covering, and watch out, I really love both of these companies. Very low market caps, especially Castle Silver with cobalt projects. And yeah, thank you very much. All the best.